Hey, Pastor Josh here. We're reading Mark chapter 8, verses 27, 28, and 29. Just three verses. So we'll see if I don't spend 10 minutes talking about it. But this is the major hinge of the Gospel of Mark. This is the famous proclamation of Peter, where Peter recognizes that Jesus truly is the Christ. Now, Mark has a more simple statement when he records it. Peter is just saying that Jesus is the Christ. Other Gospels will say he's the Christ, the Son of the living God. So you see the most simplest expression in Mark. And if you remember way back from the beginning, the reason there's more simpler statements and such is because Mark, number one, was not a disciple. He's not one of the 12 that was around. Matthew was. And John was, of course, and so they would have expanded, maybe had other personal testimonies they would have shared as well. And then Luke actually prefaces his gospel by saying that he's gone and really researched a lot and talked to a lot of people. And so Mark is just kind of a very quick put down of what happened in Jesus' life. More than likely, church tradition is saying that it is Peter's rendition. Mark would have been serving with Peter at the end, or toward the end of his ministry there in Rome, and so this is kind of church tradition anyway, that this would be kind of the recollection of various teachings that Peter would have said, and Mark then writes these down. So here we go. Verse 27, And Jesus went on with his disciples to the villages of Caesarea Philippi, and on the way he asked his disciples, well, who do people say that I am? I know people are talking about me. Who are they saying I am? And they told him, John the Baptist. Some say John the Baptist, and others say Elijah, and others one of the prophets. Now, why of these people? Well, one, John the Baptist, if you remember, he was beheaded and dead, and some say he was John the Baptist raised from the dead. That's what King Herod said, if you remember from several readings ago. Others say Elijah. There was the belief that Elijah would come before the Messiah, and Jesus clarifies elsewhere. Jesus clarifies that the Elijah that would come before the Messiah was actually John the Baptist. He is the one preparing the way. And so they're saying, hey, you're this prophet Elijah, this new Elijah that would come and prepare the way of the Messiah. Well, wrong. He is the Messiah. He is the Christ. In others, one of the prophets, just one of the, not just, but another powerful prophet that has come. And he asked them, who do you say that I am? And I think this is real important because our confession of Jesus has to be personal. You don't just own what other people say, and there has to be you have to have your own personal conviction about who Jesus is. So it doesn't really matter what everybody else says. What do you say? Who do you say Jesus is? And I'm asking you, who do you say Jesus is? Is he the Christ, the Son of the living God? Is he just some sort of good teacher? Was he crazy? Who do you say Jesus is? And people have said all of those. Or is he just a made-up fairy tale? Who is Jesus? So that's what Jesus then asks the disciples, and then Peter answers for them. Peter answered him saying, you are the Christ. And the Christ is the Greek form for Messiah, would be the anointed one that would come into the world. You can't see that down there at the bottom, but yeah, you are the Christ. You are the Messiah. You are the anointed one. You are this promised king that is going to come and make all things right and correct. And so right here in verse 29, we see the hinge turning on the gospel, and there's going to be a marked difference toward the end, because now remember, Jesus has been saying, hush, hush, don't tell anybody about me. Now there is a clear declaration about who he is and what he is to do. He's still going to tell them, hey, don't tell anybody. That's still going to be what Jesus is saying. But now we see the Christ going to finish what he ultimately came to do. We're going to begin to see that feel of going toward Jerusalem and going to the cross. Pray that's been a blessing to you. I'll see you in the next video.